Hello, my dear students. Welcome for the online lecture for Microcontroller Embedded Programming, that is MAP. This is a regular subject, compulsory subject for 5th semester. Myself, Archana Saugule, I am the course in charge of this subject. I am sharing this subject with the Master Manish Belande sir. We are going to learn MAP subject. When we talk about the MAP subject, Microcontroller Embedded Programming, we will first see the course objective for the MAP. There are 6 course objectives we are expecting when you are going to learn this course. The first course objective is the concept and architecture of embedded system. You are going to learn basics of embedded systems and the architecture of embedded systems. Then you are going to learn, that is second course objective is basics of microcontroller 8051. Third course objective is the concept of microcontroller interfacing. Fourth course objective is concept of ARM architectures. ARM stand for Advanced RISC Machine. Next course objective is the concept of RTOS, that is real-time operating system. And the last course objective to learn different designing platforms which are used to develop the embedded based applications. According to the syllabus, there are 6 modules. Prerequisite module. Second module is the introduction to embedded system. Third module is the microcontroller architecture and programming of 8051. Next module is the interfacing of 8051 with different devices. Next module is the architecture of ARM7, that is Advanced RISC Machine 7 architecture. After that, second last module is the open source RTOS, that is real time operating system. And the last module you are going to learn is introduction to embedded target boards. When you think about the prerequisites, we must know about what is a microcomputer, what are the main components of the microcomputers. And I think we learned this in the last semester, that is semester 4 COA subject, that is Computer Organization Architecture. In that, we learn what is a computer, what are the different generations of the computers, what is the hardware architecture, what is the von Neumann architecture, what are the main components of the computer, which includes the CPU or microprocessor, which includes the memory, input-output devices. In this MES subject, we are going to learn what is the embedded system, what are different applications of embedded systems, what are the categories of embedded systems. Then in the microcontroller architecture and the programming of 8051, you are going to learn in detail architecture of 8051, pin diagram of 8051, means logical diagram and the physical diagram of the 8051, how we are writing the programming for 8051. Most of the embedded systems are built up with the microcontroller and mostly commonly used the microcontroller family is 8051 family. It's an 8-bit microcontroller. Then we are learning how to interface the 8051 with the different devices. In your syllabus, they mentions how we can interface the 8051 with the keyboard matrix, how we can interface the 8051 with the ADC and DAC. That is, ADC means analog to digital converter and DAC means digital to analog converters. Then after that, we are going to learn ARM7 architecture, that is Advanced RISC Machine architectures. There also we have to learn basic programming of ARM7. Then next we are having the open source RTOS. So what are the real-time operating systems? What are the issues in the RTOS? What are different type of the RTOS which we can use for the embedded system designing applications? And the last is very important point of view of your lab. For that we are going to learn the different embedded target boards, which includes Arduino Uno boards, Raspberry Pi boards, Intel Galileo board and Cortex. When we talk about these boards, most commonly used boards to design the IoT based applications, means embedded system applications, are using Arduino boards and the Raspberry Pi boards. For these subjects, there are 6 COs, that is 6 course outcomes. Means after this course, what you are going to learn, students are able to learn minimum these 6 outcomes from this course. The first is that recall the basic concept of embedded systems and its core elements, which include the processor and the microcontroller. Then we are going to learn describe the architecture of 805 microcontroller, ARM, that is Advanced RISC Machine, and open source RTOS, that is real-time operating systems, which we can map with the module number 2, 4 and 5. Then next we are having write the programming which are based on the 8051 and ARM7, which we can map with the module number 2 and module number 4. These are 3 COs. Next 3 COs are classification of embedded system elements and design the interfacing of 8051. So this we can map with the M1 and M3, module number 1 and module number 3. Then next course outcome is demonstrate the various RTOS and different embedded boards. And the last COs examine the various components of embedded system, which we can map with the module number 2, module number 4 and module number 5. When we are talking about module number 0, that is prerequisite module, which we already maximum things we learned in the semester 4 in the subject COA, Computer Organization and Architecture. That is the revision of microcomputer system, then revision of high level language, machine level language, assembly level programming, microprocessor. Then there are 2 new things which you are going to learn here, that is what is microcontroller and what is the difference between the microprocessor and the microcontroller. When we are talking about the microcomputer, I think everyone know what is a computer. In the basic view, if we think about the computer, what is having? It having the CPU, that is microprocessor, it having the input device, output device, then it having the memory, and to interconnect all the devices we require the bus. Then next topic we are going to learn in the lecture number 1 in today's lecture. What is high level language, what is a machine level language, and what is a assembly level language. These languages are using to do the programming for the computer. So just now we discussed about what is a computer, right? The main components of the computer. What is the use of the CPU or the processor to process the data? What is the use of the input device to give the input to the computer? What is the use of the output device to take the outputs from the system? And what is the use of the memory to store the data or informations? Then depending upon some different features that look, we have the different type of the computers. It may be desktop, it may be the laptop, or it may be the notebook or notepad. These are the main components of the computers. It having the CPU means microprocessor, then it having the memory unit, it having the input unit, and it having the output units. And to integrate all these components, we having the system bus. Mainly there are 3 different type of the system buses present in the computer. There is data bus, address bus, and the control bus. So name itself, the name of this buses indicate the function of that bus. What is the data bus function? To transfer the data from source to destination. What is the function of the address bus? To indicate the address of the memory where we are storing the data. That data we require to access, or we require to write the data or read the data from that memory location or memory address. And the last system bus is a control bus, which generate the different control signals. Now mainly we perform 2 operations on the computer, read operation and the write operations. So when we are talking about the read and write operations, to generate the signals to the control signals. So read signals and write signals are generated to the control bus. Through that it will be control the operation of computer. And the next topic which you are going to learn today's lecture is different programming languages. So when we think about the logical view, when we think about the logical view of the programming languages, we know that when we have the computer is the hardware part. After that we are having the machine level language, then we are having the assembly language, and then we are having the high level language. When we talk about the machine level language, which is definitely understood by the machines, assembly language is between the high level language and the machine level language. So it is sometimes it is also called the middle level language. So what is a machine language? It is a machine native language which is understood by the machines. It is a combination of zeros and one. It is called a digital data or binary data. Now, this language understood by the machine itself, so no need of the translator to execute this code on the machine. What is assembly language? Definitely assembly language uses some short words, that is called the mnemonics, to represent the instructions. So instruction having the mnemonics, that is a operation code, which are similar to our English language. Definitely. For example, if I want to add the content of two numbers, if I want to perform the addition of two numbers, 2 and 3, so I can store that number 2 and 3 in two registers and then use a mnemonic ADD, which will add the content of A and B, means it add the 2 and 3. So addition of two numbers, we can represent or we can write in the assembly code is add A comma B. Now this language is not understood by the machine, so it requires a translator, which translates your assembly code into the machine code which you want to execute on the machine. So the translator name is a assembler. So what is the assembler here? Assembler is a translator who translates the assembly language code into the machine code. Now last, what is a high level language? High level language is very similar to our English language, so it is very easy for the user to learn and remember. Whenever instruction we are writing in the high level language is called the statements. The examples of high level languages I mentioned only three here: C, C++, Java. Right now we are using the Python, right? But again this language is not understood by the machine, so it requires a translator. So we know that C and C++ have their own compiler, Java have their own compiler who translate or compile the your language, that is high level language, into the machine level language. So when we compare these languages, definitely we know now that machine level language is the zeros and one, assembly language is the mnemonics. Machine language don't require the hardware, don't require the separate hardware and don't require the separate translator who translate the high level language into the machine level language, because machine language is itself the zeros and one combination is understood by the machines. But when you talk about the assembly language, is a middle level language, it mnemonics is having, it required to translate the mnemonics into the machine code, that is zeros and one combination, so it requires a translator. So if you think about this execution speed, definitely machine level language will execute fastly as compared to assembly language. We can call the machine language the first generation language and assembly language is second generation language. As compared to the user point of view, we know that machine language is very difficult for us to understand and to remember and to find out the errors in it. But in the assembly code, we can easily debug the code, we can easily understand and remember the code. When we talk about middle level language, that is assembly language, and the high level language, definitely the assembly language is in the form of the mnemonics, high level language is the form of the statements. So definitely which language is easier to remember for the user point of view? High level language. But it takes the more time to execute because it requires a translator. Machine level language don't require the time to execute, but middle level language requires more time as compared to the machine level language, but requires the less time as compared to high level language. Then when we talk about memory efficiency, definitely low level language or middle level language require the less memory to store because it don't require the translator, it don't require to convert the code. So the more memory efficient. But in the case of high level language, it is a less memory efficiency. And when we think about the execution speed, definitely execution of the machine level language is very faster as compared to high level language. But debugging and the maintenance is not easier. In the high level language, debugging and the maintenance is very easier. So what is the summary of the today's lecture? We revise what is a microcomputer, what are the main components of the microcomputer, and what are different types of the microcomputers. Then we learn and compare different programming languages, which includes the low level language, middle level language, and high level language. Low level language means zeros and one. Middle level language means mnemonics, that's assembly language, and high level language means the statements, which include the examples are C, C++, or Java. This is our first lecture. So according to your syllabus or according to your modules, they mention the different textbooks which you have to refer. When you want to learn the embedded system, we'll go for the Introduction to Embedded System book by the Shibu. It's very good book for your first module. Then when you talk about the 8051, we have go for the Masidi. It is very good book to learn the microcontroller and the embedded system using assembly and the C code. In your syllabus, they mention third edition, you can use it. Then when you think about to learn the RTOS, we will go for the Dr. V.K. Prasad book, Embedded and Real-Time System. These are three minimum textbooks you have to refer for different modules. And according to syllabus, you have these references. When you want to learn the ARM, you are having the special book for the ARM, that is Steve Kuber, ARM System on Chip Architecture. That is the PSL Educations. Then we want to learn the embedded target boards. We have to learn the Raspberry Pi and the Arduino, which are most commonly used in the embedded systems. So we are having the cookbook of that. We are having the user guide manual for the Raspberry Pi also. Through that you can learn this. So I want to say thanks to everyone for listening my lecture. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me any question. I will wait for the 1 minute. You can ask a question if you want to ask any question regarding this subject, regarding this lecture. Then I give some few questions for the assignments, or you can recollect this from this lecture. What is microcomputer? What are the main components of microcomputer? What are the advantages and disadvantages of low level language? And what are the advantage and disadvantage of high level language? So hope now you know everything about this. So bye. Take care.